Hi, hello, and welcome to Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous, also known as Ablossi Baba. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent here by the temple to deliberate my findings over the Lunar Lounge. So the objective here is to impose guidance for the new moon in Pisces. Okay, the new moon in Pisces. And we're particularly lucky because we have both moon cards out. A lot of people confuse the moon with the moon card with the moon. That's actually Pisces energy. The moon is the high priestess. Typically refers to the new moon. There is the full moon energy in the moon card, but the actual moon signifier is the high priestess. So we have the mystery and the keeper of the mysteries here. I'm going to pause for a moment and grab the, well, actually, I'll just set the mic down. Pardon me. Excellent, thank you. I know it's kind of ratchet protocol there. Okay, so let's begin. I want to get into this message deeply. So I'm just going to open up the record this month, feeling a little bit unprepared. We're a little bit behind. This should have came out on Saturday or even earlier. It did not happen. Okay, so what we're going to do is open up the record. We're going to do what's called an Akashic query. Again, my name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous, also known as Ablossi Baba. If anything that is said resonates deeply with you, go ahead and check the link in the show notes. Okay, now this normally is premium content. So right now it's freemium. Just be aware that at another time, at another date, if you really like this reading, it might not be as accessible as this one is. Of course, there'll always be a free and public little blurb, little excerpt, and then it will lead you over to temple properties. Okay, so I've already laid the foundation. Let's go ahead and see what the guidance is. I'm going to shuffle in the moon into the deck. The ascendant energy is that of Pisces, since the new moon will be in Pisces. Great. So normally I would like the moon card to go into the empty cup here. However, when it comes out in the position of being on the very bottom of the deck, there's the protocol changes. As you can see, it's ended up in the strength house. So that means the cycle's just beginning and it's actually beginning to be deliberated. I bet you if we were further along the cycle, it would show up in the empty cup. In the empty cup, we actually have the energy of Pluto. So that is the judgment card. The judgment card, in terms of the archetype, the concept, the idea is Pluto, okay? But the astrological elements, the astrological energy is actually the combination of Jupiter and Saturn. Now, they can be aspected. It's preferred that they're conjunct. If they are aspecting, one of those needs to be in the 11th house. Okay, so there we go. So for a Pisces rising, the 11th house would be Capricorn. This is a collective reading for everybody, for all signs. So let us begin. Again, I'm imposing my findings from, I'm deliberating my findings from the Thoth Tarot by Aleister Crowley, Lady Frida Harris. I'll be imposing my guidance from Nadi Anastasia's Cosmic Activation Cards for the Soul. If anything that is said resonates deeply with you, go ahead and check the link in the show notes. There is a flash sale going on. The mystery school announcement's coming out in a week. So right now, if you would like a soul purpose assessment or a spiritual wellness evaluation, both of those are 50% off. That's very rare. The spiritual wellness evaluation is $270 retail. So be aware of that. Both of those will place you in the mystery school. It'll also significantly discount your tuition. If anybody's ever gone to the mystery school, send an email oracle@priestessgorgeous.org in order to audit. It would be advisable to do that now, because the next semester, the one that starts in March, or it's really the spring semester, it starts on March 22nd. Okay, so the summer semester, July 21st, that's going to be a whole nother ball game. So if you think you're ready, you think you know what's going on, you might not. So just something to be aware of. If you've been sitting and waiting in the background, wanting things to come forward, it's best to kind of prepare to communicate around the 22nd of March. Prepare yourself. You can communicate from now until then. Okay. So this starts out in the place of our strength, courage, and wisdom. Really what we're nurturing, creating into the physical. It's some new type of sense of abundance, some new manifestation. And this manifestation has to deal with our talents, our abilities. We might be a talented beauty. We might be really refined in our skills. We might be really refined in our craft and our talents. And maybe in the background, we've been figuring out what our talents are, especially our spiritual abilities. We've been figuring out what our talents are, especially our gifts, our spiritual gifts. And it's shown up in the area of light workers, the heavenly realm, the lover's house. The lovers can talk about 6 dimensions, Svagloka, being inside the cosmic egg, et cetera, et cetera. So we might have just come into who that person is in terms of our love, who that person is in terms of our soulmate, who that person is in terms of our twin, although the twin energy is in the negative aspect right now. So it would be cleansing, cleaning, preparing. I'm just gonna say a quick message to you. 1111, soulmate, twin flames, that's a spiritual relationship. So if you're still living in the material, if you're still living in a lower vibration, it's gonna be a lot more karmic catalytic. If you're not at a spiritual vibration, meaning above a certain megahertz, typically 575 and above, you're not ready. You're just not. So even if you meet that twin flame, even if you meet that soulmate, it's going to be a repellent situation, or very, very catalytic, meaning dramatic, traumatic in terms of its getting you ready, cleansing, purifying you. And if you can't rise to the occasion and do your healing almost at light speed, it's going to be karmic. There's really no way around that. So we have some of us come into contact with who this person is. We've come into contact with who this person is. We may or may not be in alignment with them right now, but we do know who they are. Some things that are challenging for us this time is that Mercury is retrograding into Pisces. So you may come into the intuitive recognition that you met your person. You might have walked away from them. They might have walked away from you. You guys might have been repelled from each other. Both of you in the connection. And this is letting you know that over the next, I was going to say 2 weeks, but I heard 6 weeks, things may come together or the obstacles may dissipate. That's not a message for everybody, but it is a strong message. So it will hit quite a few of you. So we are in the dark about love. We are falling out of love, some of us. We have fallen out of love, others of us, and now we're realizing that the remnants of the love are still there, because basically the weeds have been extracted from the field, and now the pure seeds can germinate, can manifest, can procreate, permeate, penetrate, perpetuate the cycle forward. Now, it will be that we're delayed in our intuition. Some of us have chosen to ignore intuition, or we've been so in our mind that we can't understand our intuition. And that's part of this new refined beauty, refined talents. This new journey towards abundance is because we can finally nurture what's alive in us according to our own self-worth and value. We might have had to step back, withdraw our energies in order to understand our self-worth and value. That might have been our spiritual currency. The ability to negotiate, navigate would be to show up in the world with our self-worth and value in alignment with us, having an understanding of it. Now the ability to negotiate, navigate the self-worth and value gives us strength, courage, and wisdom. So it's going to be different strokes for different folks, because we've been having challenges understanding our intuition. We might have been blocked, delayed. Okay, we might have had things manifesting, happening towards us, to us, without an understanding why. We might have had an inability up until now, up until recently, up until this cycle, to perceive the phenomena of the universe. So that's shifting around and changing. So now we're going to become a passionate woman, a passionate female, a passionate, intuitive individual. So a woman is a man, a human, doesn't matter male or female, a man, human, who can negotiate, navigate, go down the journey, driving progress through the womb, meaning through the sacral chakra and the solar plexus, versus the crown, meaning the third eye and the actual crown chakra. Okay, typically it would be a woman, because queens rule from the womb, not because they have genitalia, but because that's their power center. And men rule from the crown, not because they have a head or a crown or some type of colonized sovereignty or natural birthright sovereignty. It means that they're guided, they're ruling, they sit in the place of their third eye, of their crown, of their throat chakra. So this is, we're going to have also strong, passionate intuition, courageous intuition, push throughs and intuition. We're finally going to rule from a place of empowerment versus fear, from a place of reaction, proaction versus, you know, regurgitated responses, meaning fear-based, anima, you know, fight or flight, animalistic, root-based. We're going to leave our reptilian mind. We're going to leave our lizard center. So that's the oldest aspect of the brain, and its job is survival. When you have a fight or flight response, you're no longer in your prefrontal cortex, you're in your amygdala. What that means is things are happening to you. Your body takes over the hormones, the adrenaline, that is what's ruling you. So the strength card is about, you know, ruling your feelings versus your feelings ruling you, ruling your mind versus your mind ruling you, ruling your lower nature versus your lower nature ruling you, governing your beast versus your beast governing you, no longer being animalistic, ruling from your higher self, gaining power over your lower self. So that's where we're going. And this is going to be a strong, courageous teaching, a strong, courageous teacher. If some of you are using a guru, a guide, a master, spiritual master of any kind. And this is going to illuminate the path. So through self-illumination, through withdrawing from the physical, through withdrawing from the current thing that's in front of us, creating this negative stimuli, creating this scary stimuli, creating this unknown cycle, creating this mystery, we're going to be able to withdraw our energies, looking into ourselves, using our soul's wisdom, soul's guidance to find illumination, enlightenment. And we will have to come back out. We will actually just be guided out of the darkness through withdrawing. And I'm trying to say that this, whomever we've withdrawn from, whether they were a lover, whether they were whatever, what have you, most of us, it was only temporary. And it would have needed to not look that way in the beginning, because if you know the answer to the test, you don't pass the test. Meaning, if you get given the answer during the test, you don't pass the test. Example, if you know what the truth is about your soul's incarnation and you don't go along the journey to explore and to figure that out, it's not significant. If you know that you come here to serve God and you don't get given the opportunity to not serve God every step along the way, when you show up back to God, it can't be trusted. Meaning you need to have the opportunity to leave this person at any given time. And I'm saying person, but it can be a place or a thing. We might be trying to move out of an apartment. We might be trying to quit a job. We might be trying to leave a person behind forever and for always. We needed to think that was happening though, every step of the way, until we on our own discovered that we really just needed self-worth and value, strength, courage, and wisdom. Our deepest need has been calling out, and we've been needing to move into a spiritual, soulful alignment. It hasn't happened because maybe we were waiting, maybe we were putting things on other persons, places, things. Maybe we were externalizing our personal power. Maybe we had a disproportionate reality, a disproportionate relationship to our strength, courage, and wisdom. Maybe we're out of alignment with our self-worth and value. So this illumination alignment is going to put us in the proper place in the soul group. Again, that's the womb man. Whether or not you're male or female, man guided from the womb, the lower chakras, which typically for men isn't popular, isn't even proper if you're not spiritual. Guided to the place in the soul group, the sacral chakra is your place in this world, typically the home, but your place in this world, where you feel safe to receive, safe to interact, safe to open up, allow. Well, see, that's going to help dispel all of the karma saw, all of the stuckness, all of the disproportionate power dynamics. And we will break free from hell in that sense. Now, it might be traumatic. It might also be scary to go back to somebody that for a long time had been the face of all of your problems, both negative and positive. Coming to the awareness that some of those problems were you, some of those problems were your narrative, some of those times you were giving to your problems. Now, it's going to need to be some type of outside influence that comes towards you to push this along. So if the universe itself, if the environment itself, if the place, if the things don't also communicate that it's time to go back towards where you fled, broke out, broke free, freed yourself from prison. If the prison wasn't your mind, don't go back. If the prison was this other person, don't go back. If this prison was the other place or thing, don't go back. But if you come to find out that it was a thought, it was an idea, it was a belief, it was some type of maladaptive idiosyncratic perfunctory mechanism inside of you, some type of misappropriation of your own personal power that you were giving permission to, that you were giving your power over to. If you come to find that out, it might be a good idea to go back. Sometimes it isn't though. You know, you could be an addict. It's not good to go back to old friends, old places, old things. You know, if you do hang out in the barbershop, you do get your hair cut. If you hang around with dogs, you do get fleas. Especially if they're not spiritual dogs, meaning pure, clean. Okay, so use your discretion, but I do want to say a lot of us are going to have some type of reversal. Meaning the thing that was the most scary, we, for a long time, have not been able to, for upwards of 10 months, have not been able to clearly discern our self-worth and value in the situation. We haven't been able to clearly discern our intuition because we were having an understanding, not an overstanding. So this last couple of months, we've really gained our strength, courage, and wisdom because we've been working on our self-worth and value. Now that our self-worth and value is unscalable, meaning unfuckwithable, meaning nobody can take it from us, our strength, courage, and wisdom is going to manifest differently. It might give us illumination, insight into really what the situation was, because for a long time, since we had no self-worth and value, we weren't clearly able to discern the phenomena of the universe. We weren't clearly able to perceive the situation for what it truly was. We had our own reality, our own truth, instead of an absolute reality. An absolute truth. Absolute truth is as God sees it, as Source sees it, as Creator sees it. So now when we find our place in the soul group, it is going to need to be some type of outside influences that pushes us back towards it. But okay, death, the death house here has a Chariot card. That's a clear, successful ending. And the ending comes to the world house, which basically is completing a chapter in your life. So this is a successful completing of a chapter in your life. And the world card takes us back to the masculine or takes us back to our foundation. So if we're a ruler in our own right, that might be different. But if we are female bodied, or if we were the ones learning about our strength, courage, and wisdom, learning about our self-worth and value, it might be that we show back up to a man. And it's time. The universe will let you know, don't worry. You might be ushered back onto the path of because it started out with, we found our soulmate, but we weren't in the place to manifest the soulmate relationship. Our desire for this actual person was way ahead of our choice to make. So the choice was more karmic than the actual person. It's kind of like trying to ride a bike and skipping right over the training wheel phase. It's like going out and arguing law before you even pass the bar exam. That can create some karma for you. Yeah, because saved by faith. So you need to go. So to be honest, you know, self-worth and value plus strength, courage, and wisdom equals faith, hope, and optimism. When you know who you are, what's alive in you, and you're willing to go out and stand in your truth about that, that takes a lot of strength and courage. And then the universe starts to receive you, notice you, honor you, acknowledge you. Then that gives you faith, hope, and optimism, because that faith turns into evidence. You want something from the universe. You don't know how you're going to get it. You don't know how you're going to see it. You leave a stuck situation and you don't know how it's going to resolve, if it's going to resolve it. And then all of a sudden things are working. All of a sudden things are healed. All of a sudden things are healing. All of a sudden you can see the horizon. All of a sudden you can look into the future when before you've only been in darkness. So as I was saying, self-worth and value plus strength, courage, and wisdom equals faith, hope, and optimism. So now, I'm hearing that song, what a girl wants, what a girl needs. Whatever makes you happy sets you free. You know, Christina Aguilera. They said if you love something, let it go. And if it comes back for sure, then that's how you know it's for keeps. Yeah, it's for sure. And you're ready and willing to give you more. They said if you love something, let it go. If it comes back for sure, then that's how you know. It's for keeps. Yeah, it's for sure. Yep. Christina Aguilera, What a Girl Wants. I'm not even going to sing. So let me just complete that sentence I was saying. External influences will bring this together. So part of the external influence was you needed to break free from your own hell, your own mind, your own giving power away. It'll completely be detoxed when you come to your own self-wisdom and self-knowledge, soul's wisdom. Okay, that'll help you find the proper place in the soul group, knowing who you are, your ability to access the higher self then. That'll break you free from hell. So these external influences will drive a complete, okay, so then you'll have an ability to get in alignment with the timeline. Because the thing that needed to happen, the linchpin, was self-healing, and it will come. Then there's a savior by faith. Your faith will go on steroids. And then when your faith goes on steroids, you'll come into spiritual alignment because you'll be tapped into the spiritual laws, the right, proper ones, and this will be a resolution. So it's funny because we're coming to some type of resolution here, and I mean, justice in the judgment house, that's a resolution. And if this is your deepest need calling out, the judgment card in this, so the thing you want the most, love and affection, or understanding of the thing that scares you the most, or the thing that you need, the deep, deep soul's healing, it's coming. And that concludes this reading here. So let's go ahead and, I'm startled because I'm startled. I'm bubbling all over the place because that spooked me. That reading, it touched me in a deep place. So I'm going to impose my guidance here. I'm finding that we're going on a journey. of our self-worth and value, learning how to perceive the phenomena of the universe, because we've been blocked until we found some strength, courage, and wisdom. The strength, courage, and wisdom was not able to be accessed until we executed our self-worth and value. The self-worth and value was around some type of member of the soul group, probably the ideal candidate for whatever, what have you most likely love. The love was blocked. Some of us would have been under the impression that we were falling out of love, and that was necessary so that we could unblock our intuition. We had invested in the wrong way and not in our own selves. Okay, now I'm finding here the recommendation is to allow the deepest soul need to come out. So you might have to go back and confront a few things that you might have left behind or that scare you because there's some residual fear from the past. That's gone. Okay, if you've broken free from hell and you're in a different place, you just go back and confront it because you're not the same person. You know, sometimes when I come across ex-enemies that I don't really consider an enemy anymore, they're still talking at me like who they used to know or who I used to be. And I say, you know what, buddy? You know what, sweetie darling, homegirl, homeboy? My hardware won't even access that file drive. You know, I'm like 2 software updates later. You know, that's an invalid file directory. I'm a little nerdy that way. But it's kind of saying like, you know, that person that you're talking about, I killed them. They're dead. That was 2 lifetimes ago, 3 people ago. I've hacked off my limbs several times since then. I've grown anew. I've risen from the ashes 5 times since that day. Does that make sense? So just keep that in the back of your mind. Let's go ahead and impose the, oh, we got it. Ooh. All right, so it is walk your truth. And this is on the grounds of unconditional love for people, places, and things, and compassion for surroundings and locations for us, because it's a sacred journey about learning to shine. So this is from card number 35, from Nani Anastasia's Cosmic Activation Cards for the Soul on page 91. Affirmation: I am guided by the universal spirit of love as I follow my heart in all that I do. Associated chakras is the heart and the throat. See your light and know your power. Have the courage to walk your truth. True empowerment comes from walking, living, and speaking your truth. Having the courage to be guided by your heart and following your dreams. Do not be afraid to shine your magnificent light as a result of the options and judgments of others. Yes. You might be ridiculed, scorned, and your choices mocked with disapproval. But understand this, dear one, others mock and criticize from a place of fear within them, a heart that keeps them trapped in a repetitious wheel of illusions. By breaking free and walking the true path of your heart, you step off the merry-go-round of cyclic pain, and leave the ones who scorn behind. Do not be surprised when others do everything and anything to discourage you from walking this path of the heart. In time, those that ridiculed and judged you will be inspired by your courage and ability to stand strong. They will gravitate towards you like moths to a flame with hunger to know your secrets. Your light will shine so bright that it will inspire others to find the courage within them to allow them to also follow their heart and true calling. By walking your truth, you connect to the highest powers of love and enter the amazing world of manifestation. Stand strong during this testing time and stay true to your heart. You are not alone during this process of having to defend your reasons and beliefs. Synchronistic events will bring you to the right people and condition to encourage you on this chosen path. You are being guided by the Holy Spirit of love, so stay strong. A positive outcome is assured. Again, affirmation: I am guided by the universal spirit of love as I follow my heart in all that I do. You know, I have a feeling like we had to go back to our lower self. We had to kind of confront the fear that we were carrying around from the residual people, places, and things that were blocking our path, because we were giving our power away. We probably needed some type of acknowledgement, affirmation. And finally, we broke free from that. And we have the courage to go on a journey, and the journey was towards our own self-illumination and enlightenment. We had some type of soul's wisdom that we kept being blocked out by other people, places, and things. Yeah. So it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. Again, there's a flash sale, the spiritual wellness evaluation, and the primal soul assessment. They're 50% off. Now, understand that the thing about this is that it's most likely for the mystery school. Okay. Okay. Because normally for the mystery school, it's $324 to start. So you're getting about 50% off. Okay, so it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you today. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. Until we meet again, until we read again, namaste, dandavat, and ashe. Bye-bye.